Welcome to Learning American English, Episode 5. I am your American English teacher, Maestro Sersea, and today we're going to cover vocabulary. We will have VOA letter B, part 1 of 3. Then we're going to do parts of speech, and we will learn about pronouns. After that, we're going to do American civics, and we're going to learn about the American Constitution. Finally, we're going to learn about American culture, primarily American car culture, and we will listen to an article about American highways. Are you ready to begin? All right, let's get started.
Letter B vocabulary. Baby and a newly born creature. Back end, the part behind the front. Add. The other way from forward. Bacteria and living things that are one cell and can be seen only through a microscope. Some cause disease. Bad. Add. Wrong, acting against the law, not good. Balance, V, to make two sides or forces equal. Ball in something round. Balloon and a device of strong, light material that rises when filled with gas lighter than air. Ballot in, a piece of paper used for voting. Ban V, to not permit, to stop, an official restriction. Bank N, an organization that keeps and lends money. Bar V, to prevent or block. Barrier N, anything that blocks or makes an action difficult. Base in a military center V, to establish as a fact her research was based on experiments. Battle in a fight between opposing armed forces. BV, to live, to happen, to exist. Beat V, to hit again and again. Beauty in that which pleases the eye, ear, or spirit. Because prep, for the reason that he left because he was sick. Become V, to come to be. Bed and a sleeping place. Before prep, earlier. Begin, V, to do the first part of an action, to start. Behavior N, the way in which a person or animal acts. The child's behavior was bad because he fought with other children. Behind, add. At the back of, in back of. Believe V, to think, to feel sure of, to accept as true, to trust. Letter B sentences. The baby is sleeping peacefully in the crib. Please sit in the back of the classroom. Bacteria can cause infections if not treated properly. Stealing money is a bad thing to do. Try to balance work and family time effectively. The children played with a red rubber ball. The hot air balloon floated across the sky. Mark your choice on the ballot paper. The government will ban smoking in public places. She deposits money at the local bank. Security guards bar entry to unauthorized persons. The fence is a barrier between the two properties. The military base houses thousands of soldiers. The battle lasted for 3 days and nights. I want to be a doctor when I grow up. The drummer will beat the rhythm steadily. The sunset has incredible beauty and colors. He left early because he felt sick. She will become a teacher after graduation. It's time to go to bed and sleep. Please arrive before 6 o'clock for dinner. School will begin next Monday morning. His behavior in class needs significant improvement. The cat is hiding behind the large tree. I believe that education is very important.
Understanding pronouns in writing, a complete guide. What are pronouns? Pronouns are words that take the place of nouns in sentences. They help us avoid repetitive language and create smoother, more natural-sounding writing. Instead of saying Sarah went to Sarah's car because Sarah forgot Sarah's keys, we can use pronouns. Sarah went to her car because she forgot her keys. Types of pronouns. Personal pronouns. Replace specific people or things and change form based on their function in the sentence. Subject pronouns. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Object pronouns. Me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Possessive pronouns. Show ownership or relationship. Adjective form. My, your, his, her, its, our, their. Stand-alone form. Mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. Demonstrative pronouns. Point to specific things. This, that, these, those. Relative pronouns. Connect clauses and provide additional information. Who, whom, whose, which, that. Indefinite pronouns. Refer to nonspecific people or things. Anyone, someone, everyone, nothing, all, some, many. Reflexive pronouns. Refer back to the subject. Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself. ourselves, themselves. How pronouns function in writing. Pronouns serve several important purposes. Eliminate repetition and make writing flow more naturally. Create cohesion by linking ideas across sentences. Establish relationships between different parts of a text. Maintain focus on the main subject without constant repetition. Key rules for pronoun usage. Antecedent clarity. Every pronoun should have a clear noun it refers to. Agreement. Pronouns must match their antecedents in number and gender. Consistent point of view. Don't shift between first, second, and third person unnecessarily. 10 example sentences with highlighted pronouns. She picked up her backpack and walked to her first class of the day. The students completed their assignments because they wanted to impress their teacher. This is the book that I recommended to you last week. Everyone should bring their own lunch, as we won't be providing any. The cat groomed itself while it sat in the sunny window. Who left their jacket on the chair? It doesn't belong to me. We need to finish our project before we can submit it to the committee. Those are the flowers which she planted in her garden last spring. You can choose whichever option appeals to you most. The team celebrated their victory because they had worked hard, and this was their reward. Tips for effective pronoun use. Always ensure your pronouns have clear antecedents. Use pronouns to create smooth transitions between sentences. Be consistent with pronoun choices throughout your writing. When in doubt, repeat the noun rather than using an unclear pronoun. Pay attention to pronoun agreement, especially with indefinite pronouns like everyone or somebody.
The American Constitution, a guide for English learners. Introduction. The United States Constitution is one of the most important documents in American history. It is the highest law in the United States. Every other law must follow what the Constitution says. This document has guided America for more than 230 years. The history of the Constitution. Before the Constitution. After America became independent from Britain in 1776, the new country had problems. The first government was weak. The states did not work well together. There was no strong national government to make important decisions. Writing the Constitution. In 1787, 55 men met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They came from different states. These men are called the Founding Fathers. Their job was to fix the government. The most famous Founding Fathers were George Washington, he led the meetings. James Madison, he wrote many ideas for the Constitution. Benjamin Franklin, he helped different groups agree. The men worked for 4 months. It was very hot in Philadelphia that summer. They had many arguments about how the new government should work. Finally, they created a completely new plan for government, making it official. The Constitution was finished in September 1787. But it was not law yet. 9 of the 13 states had to say yes to the Constitution. This process is called ratification. Some people supported the Constitution. They were called Federalists. Other people did not like it. They were called Anti-Federalists. The Anti-Federalists were worried that the new government would be too powerful. In 1788, enough states said yes. The Constitution became the law of the land in 1789. What the Constitution contains. The Constitution has 3 main parts. The Preamble. The preamble is the introduction. It explains why the Constitution was written. It starts with famous words, "We the people of the United States." This means that the power of government comes from the citizens. 7 articles. The Constitution has 7 main sections called articles. Each article explains a different part of government. Article 1 creates Congress, the lawmaking part of government. Article 2 creates the President, the leader of the country. Article 3 creates the Supreme Court, the highest court. Article 4 explains how states work together. Article 5 explains how to change the Constitution. Article 6 says the Constitution is the highest law. Article 7 explains how the Constitution became law. The Bill of Rights. In 1791, 10 changes were added to the Constitution. These are called the Bill of Rights. They protect important freedoms like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to a fair trial, protection from unreasonable searches. Why the Constitution is important. It creates balance. The Constitution creates 3 parts of government. 1. Legislative branch, Congress, makes laws. 2. Executive branch, President, enforces laws. 3. Judicial branch, courts, interprets laws. No single part has too much power. This is called separation of powers. Each branch can check the power of the others. It protects rights. The Constitution protects the rights of all Americans. It says that certain rights cannot be taken away by the government. These include freedom of speech, religion, and the press. It can change. The Constitution can be changed when needed. These changes are called amendments. There have been 27 amendments since 1791. For example, Amendment 13, 1865, ended slavery. Amendment 19, 1920, gave women the right to vote. Amendment 26, 1971, lowered the voting age to 18. It influences other countries. Many countries have used the American Constitution as a model. Ideas like separation of powers and bills of rights can be found in constitutions around the world. The Constitution today. The Constitution is still very important today. When there are disagreements about laws, the Supreme Court looks at the Constitution to make decisions. Politicians, lawyers, and citizens still debate what the Constitution means. The original Constitution is kept in Washington, D.C. Millions of people visit it every year. It reminds Americans of their history and their rights. Conclusion. The American Constitution is much more than an old document. It is a living guide that still shapes American life today. It created a system of government that has lasted for over 2 centuries. Most importantly, it protects the rights and freedoms that make America unique. Understanding the Constitution helps us understand how American government works and why certain rights are so important to Americans. It shows how a group of people can come together to create something that lasts for generations. Key vocabulary. Constitution, the highest law of a country. Founding Fathers, the men who created the American government. Ratification, the process of officially approving something. Amendment, a change or addition to the Constitution. Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Separation of powers, dividing government power among different branches.
Iconic American highways in California. Introduction. California is famous for many things: Hollywood movies, beautiful beaches, and giant redwood trees. But one of the most special parts of California is its highways. A highway is a large road where cars can drive fast between cities. Some California highways are more than just roads. They are important parts of American culture and history. People from around the world dream about driving on these roads. The Pacific Coast Highway, America's most beautiful drive. The Pacific Coast Highway is probably the most famous road in California. Many people call it Highway 1 or PCH. This highway runs along the Pacific Ocean for about 650 miles, 1,046 kilometers. It starts in Southern California and goes north to the top of the state. What makes this highway so special? The answer is simple. The views are amazing. On one side, drivers can see the blue Pacific Ocean with waves hitting the rocks. On the other side, there are mountains, forests, and small towns. The road has many curves and turns, especially in an area called Big Sur. Big Sur is famous for dramatic cliffs that drop down to the ocean. Many movies and TV shows have filmed scenes on the Pacific Coast Highway. When people think about California, they often imagine driving on this road with the windows down and the ocean breeze blowing through their hair. It represents freedom and adventure in American culture. Popular stops along Highway 1. Travelers on the Pacific Coast Highway can stop at many interesting places. In Monterey, people can visit an aquarium and see sea otters, jellyfish, and sharks. In Carmel by the Sea, there is a beautiful small town with art galleries and cute shops. Further south, Malibu has famous beaches where surfers ride the waves. One of the most photographed spots is the Bixby Creek Bridge in Big Sur. This tall bridge over a canyon has appeared in hundreds of photos and commercials. People stop their cars to take pictures because the view is so beautiful. Route 66, the Mother Road. Another famous highway in California is Route 66. Americans call it the Mother Road, or the Main Street of America. Route 66 was very important in the 1900s. It connected Chicago in the east to Los Angeles in the west, a distance of about 2,400 miles, 3,862 kilometers. Route 66 is part of American history. In the 1930s, many poor families used this road to travel to California to find work. In the 1950s and 1960s, families took road trips on Route 66 for summer vacations. They would stop at small motels, eat at diners, and see roadside attractions. Today, most of the old Route 66 is closed. Modern highways replaced it. However, parts of Route 66 still exist in California, and people visit them to experience history. In some towns, you can still see old gas stations, classic diners, and vintage motels from the 1950s. Highway 101, the road through California's heart. Highway 101 is another important California road. It runs through the middle of the state, passing through both big cities and farm areas. In Northern California, it goes through wine country where people grow grapes and make wine. In Southern California, it passes through Los Angeles and connects to beaches and mountains. Highway 101 shows the diversity of California. In just one day, a driver can see vineyards, forests, ocean views, and busy cities. The highway has been important for California's economy because it helps transport goods between cities. Why are these highways important to American culture? American highways represent important values in American culture. First, they represent freedom. Americans love the idea of getting in a car and driving wherever they want to go. A road trip is a popular vacation activity for many American families. Second, highways represent the American dream. In the past, people believed that if they went to California, they could find success and happiness. The highways were the path to this dream. Third, these highways show the natural beauty of America. California has incredibly diverse landscapes: oceans, deserts, mountains, and forests. The highways let people see all of this beauty. Modern highway culture. Today, California highways are still very important. People share photos of their drives on social media. Musicians write songs about these roads. Artists create paintings of the ocean views from Highway 1. However, there are also challenges. The highways can be very crowded, especially during summer. Some parts of the Pacific Coast Highway sometimes close because of landslides or storms. Climate change and heavy traffic are creating new problems for these historic roads. Conclusion: California's highways are more than just roads. They are symbols of American culture, freedom, and adventure. The Pacific Coast Highway offers some of the most beautiful coastal views in the world. Route 66 tells the story of American history and dreams. Highway 101 shows California's amazing diversity. For visitors to California, driving these highways is a special experience. For Americans, these roads are part of their cultural identity. Whether you dream of cruising along the Pacific Ocean or exploring historic Route 66, California's highways offer unforgettable journeys. Vocabulary help. Highway. A large, fast road connecting cities. P. Pacific Coast Highway short name. Cliff. A high, steep rock face. Road trip. A long journey by car for pleasure. Vineyard. A place where grapes grow for making wine. Diverse. Having many different types. Landslide. When rocks and earth fall down a mountain.